Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Brand Your Passion. In this week's episode, I really want to talk to you about how to review your brand, how it's going and how you feel about it, and basically just the success of your brand over the past 12 months in 2020. I want to talk to you about why you need to be reviewing your brand, looking back, seeing how it's gone, and doing a bit of a reflection on things. I want to talk to you about what to review and how to review it and what you can do with that information. So let's dive in. Firstly, there are a few reasons why you want to be reviewing your brand, looking back on 2020 and seeing how things have gone. Obviously, as we know, 2020 has been all over the show, a struggle for a lot of small business owners. It's been a struggle for a lot of creatives, but it's also given a lot of businesses and creatives some time to create more, to kind of look inside and figure out what we want to do. It's given a lot of people the motivation and the encouragement to start their own thing, which is amazing. So there are a lot of great things to look back on in 2020, as well as some things to reflect on to improve in 2021. 3 reasons that we really want to be reviewing your brand and looking back over the last year. Number 1 is that you want to have the most confidence that you possibly can that your brand is working, that it's aligning with your vision, reaching the right people, that it's doing everything that you want it to be doing. Whatever your goals were for 2020, whatever you wanted out of your brand, whatever you wanted to achieve by the end of the year through your brand, you want to be confident that your brand has been doing those things. Number 2 is that you want to be able to identify anything that needs to be improved and celebrate anything that's worth celebrating. Anything that you have achieved, that you're super proud of, that you did in 2020, you want to make note of those things and celebrate those and know that those are the things that you want to double down on in 2021, right? Something was amazing, got you heaps of sales, or whatever it was that worked super well for you. Make note of those things and think, how can I do that again in 2021? How can I replicate that? How can I keep it going? On the other hand, you also want to identify things that didn't go quite so well. Maybe you tried to launch something and it didn't go exactly how you wanted it to. Maybe you tried a new platform on social media and that didn't really work. So whatever it is that can be improved in relation to your brand, you want to note those things so that you can identify them and use them going forward. And that brings me to number 3. The reason really why we want to be doing this review is to give us a sense of direction going forward, so that in 2021 you know that, okay, I have looked back, I know what worked, I know what didn't work, I know how I feel about everything, I feel super confident, and I have a direction going forward. That means that I know what I'm doing with my brand in 2021. I know what my goals are, I know what I want to achieve, I know what I have to do to get there. I know the steps that I want to take to get my brand to where I want it to be in 12 months time. So those are the reasons why it's super important to be reviewing your brand. I put out a poll on Instagram about whether you were more excited to hear about reviewing your brand for 2020 or planning for 2021, and basically everybody, I think 95%, said they were more excited to plan for 2021. And I get that. It's so exciting looking forward, planning. I think everybody's ready to be done with 2020 and to move into 2021. But in order to move forward, you really do need to look backwards. It's hard to plan going forward if you haven't looked at what's worked, what hasn't worked, what we need to double down on, what we need to forget about, what we need to throw in the trash. It's important that you do look back, even though it might be difficult in some places. It might be not super fun to look back at some of the things that didn't work, but it's really important to do that so that you can have the most effective plan going into 2021. So now let's talk about what the heck you need to review in the first place. What do we need to be looking at? What do I need to be thinking about? What am I doing? First thing that you want to review is yourself. How do you feel about your brand? What is your gut telling you? What is your instincts telling you? You can maybe look back at experiences you've had throughout the year, look back at your journal entries if you write journals, look back at some memories, look back through your Instagram. How do you feel? You gotta review yourself and your own feelings and your own thoughts and experiences with your brand throughout this year. Number 2 is that you want to review your audience and think about who's in my audience. Have I been attracting the right people? What do they think about my brand? How do they react? What are they interested in? What were they not interested in? What did they sign up for? What didn't they sign up for? All of these things, you want to really look back at your audience, who they are and how they reacted, how they responded, how they engaged in your content and your products or services. You want to look back at your audience. Number 3 is that you also want to look back at your clients. So these are people who've actually bought from you. Your audience is people who are in your audience, follow you on Instagram, are on your email newsletter, whatever it might be, but they haven't bought from you yet. But what you want to do now is think about your client. Who were they? Were they in your target audience? Were they the ideal client you wanted to work with? How did those projects go? What did they think? Why did they buy from you? Would they buy from you again? All of these things, you want to look at your client's response to your brand and how they feel about it. Would they recommend you to other people? How would they describe you? What your audience and your clients are feeling. And lastly, you want to think about your team if you have one. So not all of us are going to have a team, not all of us are going to have any employees or people that we collaborate with or work with, but if you do have a team, you can ask them, how would you describe our brand right now? If you were going to be hiring someone else to help you with your role, what would you write in the job description? What would you explain about our brand? How would you describe our vision and values? Do you think things have gone well this year? What do you think has? What do you think hasn't? Talking to your team, if you have one, is really, really useful because they have been through it with you. They're on the inside. They have experienced all the same things or similar things that you have, and so they'll have insights into what your brand is all about. They'll also have experience in loving your brand and wanting to be a part of it and wanting to move it forward and be a part of the vision, and so they're a really great resource to tap into to figure out where your brand is at right now. So those are kind of the what to review and who to review, but then let's talk about how you do that. There are a few different ways to get in touch with yourself, your audience, your clients, and your team. There are a lot of different ways that we can do this, so let's talk about that. Number 1 is a good old survey or polls. These are quick questions that you can either put together into a survey and send out to your past clients. You can put polls on Instagram. I do this all the time. Send out a survey to your email list, questions to people who are in your membership or people who have bought your products before. Whoever it is that you're trying to talk to and ask, you can send them surveys or do polls or anything like that that's going to help you to understand their response to your brand. You can also do in-person interviews or jump on Zoom or on the phone and have a conversation with them to find out what it is that they think and feel and how they respond to your brand. Another way that you can do this is to look back through any metrics or analytics that you have. So on social media, you have analytics about your audience, about your engagement, how things have improved throughout the year. So you could look at where your followers were at in January 2020 and look at where they're at now. How has the demographics changed of those people? Maybe one of your goals was to attract a more specific audience and now you are doing that. It's great to look back at these numbers to find out whether you are succeeding with your brand's goals. Other things you can look at are your engagement. You can look at your website analytics and see what they're doing on your website, how long are they staying there. You can also look at your email list analytics. So look at your newsletters and your broadcasts and emails that you're sending out and who's on your email list. All of these metrics are going to give you a bunch of amazing information that you might not have thought about, but will help you a lot in tracking whether you are on track or not with your goals for your brand for the year. And lastly, another really cool way to look back at your brand throughout the year is to look back through any feedback that you've gotten throughout the year. So maybe people tagged you on Instagram, maybe they left you a comment on your post, shared your work on Instagram, maybe they replied to an email that you sent out. They might have submitted a feedback form if they were a client or someone who bought one of your products. Whatever feedback you've gotten throughout the year. One, it's great to collect these things throughout the year anyway, but you can go back now, take a look at what that feedback has been, whether it's been good or bad, informative, maybe it's been constructive, whatever it is. Look back through that feedback and see what people had to say, see how they responded, see what they said when they shared your work, how do they describe you. All of that feedback is super valuable, so go back and have a look through it. Okay, so those are 3 main ways that you can have a look and review your brand through the last year. To recap, those are doing surveys and polls and interviews, looking at your metrics, your numbers, your analytics, and then collating the feedback that you've gotten throughout the year. So those are 3 great ways to get kind of a sample of where your brand is at right now, to measure where you were at the start of the year to where you are now. Take note of where you are now so that when you do this at the end of next year, you can have some data and some information to look back on. It's also going to inform things that you do next year, right? Which I'm going to talk to you about in the next episode. But you can use this information about what your audience thinks about you, what your team says about your brand, how you feel about your brand. All of this information is going to be super valuable in helping you decide what to do next year, right? What to focus on, what to improve, what to not worry about anymore, what to keep doing. This stuff is going to be super, super helpful. So I hope that this episode has been useful. I would love to see you actually implementing this. I'd love to see if you are researching this stuff, if you're documenting any of this stuff. Please tag me on Instagram because I love this so much. Tag me on Instagram, tag me on Twitter, or send me an email, or just get in touch with me however you can, because I would love to see how your brand's gone this year. I'd love to see how you have found this whole reviewing process, and I'd love to help you if I can. So if you get stuck, you want some advice about reviewing your brand, then just flick me a message and I'd love to chat to you about it. I hope that this year has been wonderful to you, and I hope that you've learned a lot from reviewing your brand, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend some time with me learning about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at blackandwhitestudios.nz/brandyourpassion. If you liked this one, you can tap that subscribe button so that you're notified about every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, I would love it if you could leave a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. I would love to hear from you and hear about how you're enjoying the podcast. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me if you could screenshot your podcast player on your phone right now, hop over to Instagram or Twitter and tag me at Black and White Studios. That's at BLCKWHT Studios. By subscribing and reviewing and sharing, you're helping me to reach more creators just like you, so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. I really can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the world. I'll talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.